Do you have a great idea for a podcast? Or maybe you already have a podcast, but you're getting overwhelmed with editing or production? Head over to EndeavorPodcastSolutions.com. They have everything you need, from intros and outros to editing work, voiceover, you name it. That's EndeavorPodcastSolutions.com. Podcasting simplified.
I'm not going anywhere, 'cause I'm here to stay, I'm here to play, get used to it, nothing's gonna break me down, got a little taste of it, and now I want more, and I can't ignore the feel of it, nothing's gonna stop me now, fire on the ground, got 'em running for cover, better watch out, I'm about to take over. Time to look over my shoulder, leave them all behind, I'm about to take over.
Welcome to Daddy Issues.
Push nice and hard. You know, if your wrist is wore out by the time you get done doing this, you did something right.
This dungeon is gorgeous.
Hello and welcome.
A redhead will stuff you in her trunk and hang you on her wall and fuck you for days. Just saying. It's good times.
I go full trailer park.
Let's go back to the hose.
That's weird.
Ooh, gimme.
Because
Was that hot?
pardon me.
Dude, okay over there?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, their sticks are so far up their asses, it's like they're fucking puppets, and you're just...
Fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
Would you be comfortable sharing with us the name of the hotel you stayed in last night?
Woo!
Well. Look who skipped their meds today. And then it was just like, I should drink less.
I got all these daddy issues.
Yep. Welcome to Daddy Issues, bitches! Hi! Hello.
Hello, everyone. Hello, wifey.
Hello, darling. This is my wife, Lily Bongwater. I'm Shade Queen. You probably know that if you're tuning in, but if this is your first time, welcome. You're brave.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you being greenies. We welcome you.
Greenies? Our
Yeah.
fans are called greenies now?
Okay, no. Our fans are our bitches because that's their place. Get on your knees, know your role. But listen, it's not a demeaning term, because if you're one of our bitches, we love you enough to consider you one. If we have no name for you, you're just a number, and that doesn't matter to anyone. Not us.
Okay, but what are greenies, though?
Okay, so a greenie is somebody, to me, who is new to the entire world of kink. Okay, and here's the thing. There are a lot of people who may be tuning into our show for the very first time, and maybe they're afraid to listen to us. I know a lot of people have like this stand back reaction when I'm like, yeah, I have a female dark comedy podcast with a BDSM flair. And I just slip that in there like a small dick. I also tell them, I'm like, listen, we talk about relationships, we talk about families, we talk about sometimes politics, we talk about injustices, and we talk about a strain of the week. We talk about a lot of different things outside of kink. A lot of things that we deal with relate back to kink. So,
well, yeah.
I want to welcome anybody who is a little shy and maybe wasn't necessarily on board with listening to us right off. Congratulations, you made it. We're proud of you.
More like raw.
Yeah.
Like, we're not here to sugarcoat anything, but we're not, like, just out to be edgy and offensive either, because that's just fucking stupid.
Right. We're not shock jocks, because that's so played out. It's really played out. So if you're doing that, you might want to pick another angle, because you're running out of material. Just saying. If you are listening to our show and perhaps have a question about kink or a story, share it with us. You should email us daddyissueshow@gmail.com. That's the best way to email us. It's in the show notes, so you can just click it and email us. But that's the best way to get in touch with us. If you have something to say, we want to hear it.
Yeah, we do. I love hearing stories from other listeners, and
I love that
all that jazz.
Interaction is so important. Listen, this is a team sport, just like boning, okay? You need to be half of the party. If you're not here for it, how do we know what we're doing this for? Do you think that we don't have conversations outside of recordings? We do. So we don't need to record. We record for you. Somebody did write into us. So now that I've thrown all that on the table, now we can bend this email over. This is from Marguerite. And so, hey, girl.
Hello. Hey, Marguerite.
Marguerite wants to know what our first kinks and BDSM interests were when we entered the scene. By the way, I love this question. Love it.
I love this question because my answer was unexpected for me. You know, when I first started experimenting on my own, you know, I was experimenting with rope and wax and that sort of thing. But when I actually learned more about the BDSM scene itself, all that changed. And my main focus and my favorite thing is extremely high protocol. I love protocol so much. Like,
I call it manners, but I'm the same way.
Yeah, I absolutely love training, like classically training maids and butlers, slave protocol. I just love that aspect of it so much. And I get more out of protocol, oddly enough, than I do out of the more sadistic things that I do.
I'm surprised by that.
Sounds weird, but it just does something for me. It really does.
I believe you. Were you a teenager? Were you an adult? Like, you don't have to give me an exact age, but you know what? When did you start?
By the time I found my way into a community, like the more community setting and learning protocol, I was in my probably early 20s.
Okay.
Before that, it was just experimenting on my own and just doing whatever I felt like doing. But it wasn't until I was older, found sort of the actual community itself.
When you entered the community, were you a sub? Were you a dominant? Were you a switch? Did you not label yourself? I
didn't label myself when I first entered the community.
Okay.
I knew I wasn't a sub.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't label myself at all. I just sort of like hovered through and just learned from everyone that I met and their viewpoints and their traditions and their protocols and all of that sort of thing. And then eventually found sort of my place in it and what fit and what worked with me, which is good because I think if I'd had some sort of identity expectation on myself, I wouldn't have learned as much. And I wouldn't have got as much out of it because I would have been so focused on, no, I'm this. I don't need to know any of that because I'm this.
That's fair.
When I was so new.
Yeah, well, to answer her question a bit myself, when I first entered the scene, first of all, I was labeled. And by that, I mean, I didn't even label me. Someone labeled me. So I hadn't even established my own identity like you talked about, which I think is really important as a sub or a switch or a dominant. You have to find out what gets you to that place that makes you tick. Not makes them tick, makes you tick. It's not completely a selfish endeavor either, because in the long term, if you don't know what your interests truly are, where your boundaries truly lie, then how are you going to find the right match? Like, to me, you can't find a match if you don't even know what it is that you are, because you can't find a counterpart without knowing the piece you're working with.
And you're still going to have, like, horrible experiences.
Yeah, because people.
While you're looking, but at least you'll know.
Yeah. People are fickle, no matter what kind of relationship you're having. It could be a friendship, it can be a family relationship, it can be a sexual relationship, it could be a hookup, and it could be a kinky fetish. I think that there's this misunderstanding that when you have a dominant or you have a sub, that it's just a forever thing. That's great if you can work that out, but you can't necessarily work that out if you haven't worked you out first.
Well, yeah.
But I didn't do that. So mine's more of a cautionary tale because I entered the scene as a submissive. I had a dominant that was a good bit older than me, not a lifetime, but when you're young, and here's the other cautionary part of it, you don't really fucking think it through. You know, you're like, this is cool, you know?
Yeah.
And it is, you know, when your endorphins are running and your heart is pumping and you're in subspace, you're like, this is it. This is my perfect brand of heroin. But that's actually not the case. What you're doing is your body is reacting to a stimuli. It's not the same thing as you having a relationship. And I think that needs to be said. Because for subs especially, I don't see this as much in slaves, but subs, I see this more. In subs, you get so bonded that you don't know how to live a life independent of your dominant. And that is a dangerous thing. While you should be serving your dominant, if you've never been anything else but a sub, you've never been a switch, you've never tried being dominant, you've never served under another dominant, perhaps you don't have sub friends. I told you, grow your tribe. I wasn't kidding. You know, you really don't know that it could be any better, or you're being taken advantage of if you are.
Well, and you have to watch for I mean, okay, some subs meet their dom and they spend a lifetime with them.
Yes.
However, if you only see yourself as a sub and there is nothing outside of that, then you aren't really developing as a whole person.
Correct.
You know, I mean, subs should have some sort of hobbies, some sort of like a job, or I mean, just something outside of the dynamic just to allow themselves to grow and develop. And most dominants insist upon that shit.
Right. They should. You're dominant if they're truly interested in you. They will want you to and encourage you to improve yourself, grow your life. You know, they're not supposed to be there to be the sole proprietor of your life, in that you choose the gift of submission. You know, slaves are a different thing. You've terminated your rights here. You work under my rule, the end. Get on your knees, bow your head, and wait until I speak to you. Do not even talk to me. It's a different deal. But, you know, Marguerite, obviously coming from a sub perspective, I'm assuming. That's an assumption. So if you're not, you can yell at me.
I hope she is like the biggest dom out there. I hope she emails back and is just like, excuse me, what?
Yeah. Yeah, if you are, I ask apologies, milady. My firmest and deepest apologies. But what I'm trying to get at here is, you know, for subs, I don't feel like I recognized when I came into the scene my power as a sub and my value, so that I could then find something that was actually equal to my needs. You know, you do have needs as a sub. And when you go to a dominant, those needs are meant to be worked through also. As a dominant now, I'm not going to put my life on hold for anyone, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I'm just not.
That's the thing. I mean, I think right now especially, and I see it all over like various Facebook groups and stuff like that, there's this core type of sub now that has taken the whole, oh, but I agree to submit. I give, you know, I'm giving you power over me. Submission is a gift concept. And putting it to such an extreme that it's like, you will fucking never, ever find a dom with that attitude.
Thank you.
Ever.
If you're
Submission
entitled,
is a gift, but motherfucker, so is dominance.
Right.
And there is absolutely, you do not get, you are not really in charge. You're not really in control. You don't really get a say. You get a safe word. That's what you get.
Yeah.
You know, so, and we will respect that.
Pineapple.
But if one of my subs was all over like FetLife and Facebook going on about like, how, you know, like how dominants are basically the subs. We're the servants. We're there to fulfill their needs. Bitch, no, we're not.
Yeah.
No, we are not. We are not there just to fulfill your needs. As a submissive, when you give that power over to a dominant, that power is gone. You do not have that anymore. And your fucking role is to serve.
Right.
Not bitch. And oh, well, I haven't, fucking shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Because here's the thing. When I was a sub, now I will say this. When I was a sub, I was very well trained. Old guard, okay? No fucking joke.
God damn, he was older than you.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't kidding. Was not kidding. And I was not his first sub. I was one of his longer ones. By a long way. Like, he didn't collar me for a year. And that, sometimes it takes years for some people. Yeah, I was just very, very well behaved.
I said, yeah, you have to sort of see how it develops.
That's what he said. He was like, he kind of set the standards, and I was like, well, how long does it take? He goes, how long does it take? And he stared at me. You know? And I was like, oh, getting in line. Sorry. Speaking not.
I like him.
I
like
know.
His style.
I know. I learned a lot from him, and we still speak. We still speak. We don't see each other at all, but we speak. I feel that a good dominant you could always reference.
Yeah.
And there are exceptions to this rule, but I have always felt comfortable reaching out to him when I was distressed and didn't know what to do. He's been a long-term presence in my life, probably half my life now.
Yeah.
But when my initial interests were in pleasing him, not establishing my kinks. And again, this is the danger. I was facilitating his fetishes, his fantasies, his kinks, because I hadn't figured out what I was into. So while I wasn't against it, you know, I hadn't figured out, well, shit, maybe I'm into airplay, or maybe...
Well, did you ever go to him and ask to talk about it and be like, you know...
I'll be honest, I didn't even know what to ask for. That's how green I was.
Right.
And that's why I'm saying this, because sometimes you don't even know what other kink is out there. So you're just like, this is it. This is the whole thing. This is the whole burrito.
This is why it's so important to go to various things, look, you know, watch different things and see if it's something that piques your interest. Like, you know,
and events are good too. Like we talked about. I'm sorry, I just meant to say, like, events are good too. Like you talked about last week. I mean, events are one of those places where you can pick a role for a night.
And even if you don't want to pick a role for a night, you can just watch.
Or that.
Go around, because there's so many different... You go to an event or something like that, a dungeon party or something, you're going to see a wide variety of play.
Yeah.
So you can just relax and talk to people and go and just walk around and just watch and see if something looks like something you'd like to try.
I encourage you to talk. Now, myself, I deal with anxiety, and you probably wouldn't know this about me if you met me because I hide it very, very well. Sometimes I can't, but most of the time I hide my anxiety very well. But I can tell you, by speaking to other people in the BDSM world, I protected myself because now I know from a lot of different perspectives what's just wrong, you know, just not accepted in the BDSM world whatsoever, and what is negotiable. And some things to me, like minors and kink, not negotiable. It's not a negotiation.
No, that's not a negotiation. Hell no.
No. So if you are under the age...
That's a blacklisting is what that is.
Right. And in our community, again, this is something we would tell you. So if you don't have, you know, a munch to go to this month, that's okay. Because we're giving you the inside scoop. You have to grow your tribe, go on FetLife for hell's sake. You know, you don't even have to work that hard.
Don't take it seriously, though. Let's give the warning with FetLife. Okay. Don't take it seriously, though. There are so many full of shit people on FetLife. Like, and when you're new, if you're making a new account, you will hear from all of them.
Yeah. So be careful. You guys can always follow us.
Use the block button generously on FetLife.
Yeah, you can find us. I'll put a link to my FetLife in the show notes. I am looking for new slaves right now.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm on a fishing expedition. And by the way, by that I mean I'm waiting because I'm not going to look for you. So hit me up. You can email me too. That's fine.
You need to send me a friend request on FetLife. We are not friends on FetLife.
Are you fucking serious? Yes, we are.
Yeah, I don't think we are.
Yeah, we are.
Because I was looking for you on there the other day and I didn't see you in my friends list.
They might have deactivated my account because it's been a while since I logged in.
Oh, maybe.
When you first entered the scene, what kinks and fetishes did you try first? I started like going through my list.
What did I do? What did I try first?
And what were the good experiences or bad?
Like, what did I try to learn first? Flogging.
Yeah. What?
Flogging was the first thing I tried to learn. And I am really fucking good with floggers now. But I didn't at the time really understand the difference between thuddy and stingy.
Right.
I just really loved the way they looked, and I really loved the way they looked when they were being used.
Yeah.
And I was in love with them. I was in love with them.
You have the best cricket bat ever.
I love my cricket bat.
It's the best. You guys should check out her Instagram. You can check it out. She's Lady M Swan on Instagram. I'm Dark Shade Queen now because they reinstated my account.
Did they?
Yeah, dude, Mark does not fuck with me for very long because once we go back and forth, he's like, all right, she's not going to go away for real ever. It doesn't.
You guys don't understand. It has been years that she has been emailing him.
Yeah, we go back and forth because it started with a simple Facebook deletion, which was a big mistake because it had all my kids' pictures on. I was like, no, you put that back where it came from. And they didn't at first, but he eventually came around because I was retired. I'm not anymore, but at the time I was, so I had a lot of free time on my hands. Now I schedule emails to him, and he always knows it's me because I sign every one.
That is hilarious.
Shade Queen. Shade fucking Queen.
She's been doing this, I'm not even joking, she's been doing this for a good couple of years now.
Yeah.
Just constant.
Whenever
hilarious.
Whenever I get flagged, deleted, any bullshit, I go right to the source. And people are like, well, how do you know it's going to work? Because it has. Just that's the only... When I first went into that endeavor, I never, ever thought he would respond. Ever. Like, I never thought this motherfucker...
Yeah, I remember because at first it was like you were just sort of screaming into the void.
Right. Yes, I was. And then I just kept digging.
And then he fucking responded to you, and you were like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, that was a mistake. You should have just played dead. If a man knows me, they know the best way to deal with me is just lay down and play dead. You're safer that way. I'll call you if I need you. Because I don't. Because I fucking don't need you. I choose. I don't need. Is a different thing.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to go to the extreme this time. But anyway, follow us on Instagram. The very first thing I learned was behavior. I already had pretty decent behavior. My language had to change, for example, a lot. Because if you guys,
yeah, because you came in as a sub,
right?
Yeah, of course, that would be the first thing.
Yeah,
alter your speech.
Yep. Because as he said it, that's the first indicator of how you reflect me.
Yeah.
He says the second is how you appear. So, I mean, he always made sure he would pick my clothes and all these sorts of things. And the drawback for me at that age was I became addicted to that relationship.
Yeah.
I think that is the danger when you're younger versus when you've had a little bit more sexual experience. It's not that I was a virgin. I wasn't. He was my first dominant, and I was quite a bit younger than him. So I didn't really know what I was agreeing to initially. I did on the surface, but I didn't. And it's not that he was unclear. I don't want to put that out there that way. It's not that he didn't tell me. It's that I didn't understand the depth of it.
Yeah.
And this is something, you talked about in our last episode when you had to dismiss your slave. It's like, listen, you have to do some soul searching and find out what really works with your life dynamic and then look for your dominant, not the other way around. Don't fit us into your schedule. No. Once you work with us, this is the schedule. We tell you. The end.
Yeah. And the thing is that doesn't mean that you're at a beck and call every second of every day. What that means is that coming into the relationship, you tell, okay, well, I work here and these are my hours. And do you have a family? No, you don't. Or yes, you do. And I do this with my family on weekend. Like look realistically at your schedule. Then we make the decision on whether you have enough room in your life. I mean, you make the decision before you come to us. But if you don't, be honest about it.
Right.
Because we need to know when we look at you, are you realistically going to be able to devote the amount of time you've just told me you can? Because we're not, again, if you're someone submissive, if you're someone slave, it's reality. It's not the story of O, it's the real world. People have responsibilities, people have shit to do. And we all get that.
Right. Yeah.
But if we need someone that is around at these particular times and you're working at those particular times, then it's not a good fit, is it?
Right. I think, we talk a lot about honesty, how important it is to be authentic, but let's face it, a lot of people aren't. And that is a big obstacle when it comes to any sort of dynamic, especially BDSM, in my opinion, and only because if you're not authentic with the person in front of you in this world, you're holding yourself back and you're holding them back.
Well, and it won't last.
No, it won't last.
You can't be fake in this type of environment for very long.
Usually, I feel like the 1.5 year mark is where you find out who you're really in front of. I hate to say that because that's a long time, but that's where you really find out how invested someone is because you've gotten past most of the grooming stages,
Yeah.
You've gotten past some of your training, not all of it, but some of it. You have your protocols together. Now you're finding out who your dominant is and who your sub is in reality long term.
Yeah.
Now that everything's been set aside on the table, you now have to grin and bear it or fucking bail and get out and ask to be released.
Yep.
Now,
I mean, it's true.
I mean,
it is a long time, but it's true.
I mean, I just feel like people don't always show themselves they hold that mask up. And until it shifts enough for you to see what's underneath, you don't necessarily know that they're lying to you or not telling you the entire truth, or perhaps just not a good fit.
Yeah, absolutely. Incompatibility is reason enough.
Right.
And
I don't think people, especially subs, I don't think you should be afraid to ask to be released. I don't think you should be afraid to grow without the dom you have. If you feel like you have reached a point where you've learned what you can from them, be grateful for that. Thank them for it. And then ask to be released.
Yeah. Well, if that's what you want.
If that's what you want.
I mean, the thing is, it's going to hurt.
Yeah. It's going to feel like hurt. Worse than a breakup.
It's going to be painful for you. It will take some time to get over.
You'll have to work on getting over it because especially with protocols in place, you're going to be almost stopping yourself from doing the things you're used to doing. So, little things are big things. So if you are somebody who is just starting to break protocol, maybe you break one protocol the first day. Start small.
Yeah, absolutely. And if that's the case, or if this is the dominant you want to stay with and you're perfectly happy with how your dynamic is and there's not more you want to do or to learn or to look at, or if you're just happy with them, then don't ask to be released. But if you're in that situation where you're like, this is not really working out for me anymore, don't be afraid. Ask to be released. Like she said, thank them for what they've taught you. Speak to them. Don't be passive aggressive. Don't be weird. Just sit down and talk to them.
We hate passive aggressiveness. If you're passive aggressive with me, I will dismiss you before you can tell me why.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
That's why I had to dismiss Karis.
It's what it is. Listen, if you haven't looked at your priorities like an adult, which you should be, then don't come at my door. Seriously.
Yeah, and if you don't, to me, if you can be passive aggressive to someone, that shows that you do not have the respect that someone should have for their dominant type.
Yeah. Even you brats.
Well, that's the thing. Brats won't do shit like that. Brats they don't need to be passive. They're just actively bratty.
Yeah.
They're not like gonna make little side eyes at, they're gonna be brats. They're gonna do their thing, which is great. And you guys are adorable and I love you. But yeah, you don't handle it like a bitch. Damn.
Yeah.
Just sit them down like the adults you are and talk it out. And it's going to hurt and it's going to take time to heal. But sometimes it is for the best.
I feel like that's really good advice, because if someone had sat me down and had this conversation with me when I was younger, I might have changed things in the original dynamic I had to make it more sustainable.
Yeah.
But I also probably would have ended it sooner. Because I think there was a point at which I had already accepted I had learned everything I could from the dominant I was with. But I love the sex, Like, really, it was fucking phenomenal. And I didn't think I would ever find that anywhere else on that level. And I was like, I really don't want to get rid of this. So I held on a little too long. And the reason I feel like that was wrong is because on reflection, he wasn't getting the best out of me, though he didn't realize it. I knew it because I wasn't as committed. So that should have been a mark and is a mark on me. But also, I didn't verbalize something that I should have, and not in a complaintive way. I should have been honest and said, here's where I'm at. Here is what I feel would be best for where I am. And let him have that conversation with me. Or dismiss me. It's okay to be released.
It is.
Like, being dismissed is a different thing. If you're dismissed, we're not happy. Thank you, goodbye. But if we release you, you're welcome. Have a good life.
Yeah, we want nothing but the best for you.
Really. And I, to an extent, when I dismiss a slave, I still want the best for them, but don't fucking call me. No, don't call me. You can call me if I've released you. It's a different deal. You'll know there's a whole process. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally know what you mean.
Don't just fucking walk off and ghost me, you assholes. This is not high school, fuckers. You can't just ghost.
I mean, it's a very tricky subject, because realistically, we are speaking for ourselves only. Everybody's dynamic is sort of different. Everybody's style is different. Everyone's needs are different. And so we can only speak in the most general of terms when talking about this stuff.
We try to cover our bases, though. Like cautions.
Yeah.
Good things. One of the best things I got from my dominant was consistency. He was always fucking there. That's
the cornerstone, I think, of being a good dominant.
Yes.
Being consistent. If you can't be consistent, what the fuck are you doing?
Right. And you're not a dominant if you're not consistent. I'm knocking you down a peg. If you are not consistent with your slaves or subs, that's your fault and you fucked up. You are not a good dominant. I'm fucking trashing you right now. I don't even care. Come at my door, motherfucker. It's like, I have a bone to pick. I didn't even realize this was about to be a rant. I have a bone to pick with shitty doms. When I see these doms who can't even be bothered to call their submissives, fuck you. Seriously, fuck you. Because your sub is still waiting.
And then, they're not doing anything exciting.
Yeah, they're waiting for you to call.
Oh, it adds to my mystique. No, it doesn't, dude. You're sitting on your couch right now. You're eating fucking Doritos. You're watching Netflix. Stop pretending like you're doing some super secret, awesome master shit. You're not. We all know you're not.
No. And also, we also know you're holding your phone at all times, assholes. So when you don't respond, we know that you chose. It takes more time for you to ignore your sub than to just be like, hey. It took more effort for you to avoid them than to deal with them. And if you're avoiding them, you're an asshole. Fucking let them go.
I don't get D types like that. I really don't. I just, what is your point?
I know of one right now, and he does this with multiple women. Like, it's disgusting. I'm not friends with this person. He knows I wouldn't be friends with him. He knows that, to me, he is not the definition of a dominant. Why? Because he can't be bothered with an amazing submissive. There are many like him out there that call themselves doms and basically use it as the 50 Shades face they need to get in your fucking asshole. You know, kinky sex does not a dom make. You know, you can't.
It doesn't.
You know, just because he puts it in your butt doesn't mean that he's your dominant. It means that he could have done that to 12 other women. You gotta be fucking thinking, okay? Are you protecting yourself? Are you asking questions? Are you verifying? Like, you know, I'm sorry, not to sound like a shit, but people are shady. And I don't know that much about you. And most people meet online now. I'm not saying everyone. Like, a lot of slaves and subs will meet in person. Very important, okay? But if you don't, okay, you don't fucking know who you're serving. He could be married. He could be a fucking serial killer.
I like that married came before serial killer in that one.
I know. I actually feel like that's the worst fate. I feel like a serial killer and I could work shit out. I feel like being married again is like, ooh, you don't want to do that with me. Don't get in the arena. Don't, because I'm ready and I'll work your ass. Like, do not marry me. It's not a good idea. I play with the idea of marriage the way killer whales play with seals. You know what I mean? Like, we're on the same level. I don't know if it's for me, but we'll ever, and this is why I hold the whip
there's no
now.
actual purpose to it.
Well, it's like paperwork, and like, why do I want to give you half my shit for earning it myself? You know, I don't know. I'm not, after being divorced, let me tell you something I learned. First of all, you never know who you're married to. I promise you that. Right now, my ex-husband has like 2 or 3 kids or a gaggle of offspring, you know, that he is raising with his mistress. But guess what? He's gay. So there's the punchline. You never fucking know. So, and I did not know. God. I'm glad he wasn't fucking me. You know what I'm saying? Like, thank you. But at the same time, I know I've even said this. Oh, you always know if something's going on. Maybe you don't. No, Depends on how good of a liar they are. If you have a sadistic, really charismatic kind of person in your life that always wins you back, man, they got your number and they are more poisonous than arsenic.
Man, I feel personally attacked.
I'm sorry. I love your sadism. I do. I adore it about you. When you tell me about tying a guy up and, you know, needling his nuts, I just love it. I'd fucking live for it. While other guys are cringing in their chairs listening to us, I am fucking reveling in it with you. So, like, don't get it twisted. I like it just the way it is. You keep that ass the way it is. You know what I'm saying? But what I am trying to get at here is, like, you get to a point where it's like, let's call out the motherfucker that isn't a dominant to begin with.
Yeah.
The one that doesn't show up, the one that gives you excuses, the one that never meets your needs or only meets them when it's most convenient for him or he knows you're about to walk. Or he's in trouble. That's bad behavior. And I'm saying this in a male sense because most dominants that I know personally are male. I'm not saying I am a female dominant. I'm a dominatrix. So in my case, if you come knocking at my door, good luck. I mean, enjoy. We'll just see how that goes for you. You fake ass doms out there. We've already had an entire episode about you, but fuck you.
Yes.
Release your devoted slaves because they subs and slaves who are very devoted to their doms, whose doms are not worth a damn. I'm sorry. You need to move on.
Yeah, know your worth, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is a good time to warn all of the listeners that I might be down some power next week. What
Oh,
the
God,
fuck?
yeah.
Why are y'all... Hold on. Can y'all hear this? I'm just gonna let this happen for a second. It's like, lawn people, do you realize the hurricane is gonna be here this weekend? Do you need to be mowing this shit?
Well, you know, they want the lawn to look nice for the hurricane.
Dorian, first of all, Dorian is like a gay guy that is ready to come out to his parents and hasn't fully committed yet. He's here, he's there, he's in, he's out. He hasn't decided if he's coming all the way to Florida yet. It's like, listen, just tell us. We can handle it. Okay? It's gotten to a point where it's like, commit already! Jesus. I love hurricane season because if you want to talk about crazy ass Floridians, you will never see crazier than when a hurricane is coming. Your water's gone, your gas is gone, your food is gone, cans are everywhere. People are loading up gas cans from like the apocalypse that they were just saving up, you know? It's like, woo!
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
This is all going down. What am I doing? I fill up my 2 cars. I am pretty much solely focused. I booked a hotel. I'm pretty much solely focused on getting my horses moved and the other horses at my barn to a hurricane-safe barn. Motherfucker, go away!
I can't hear it.
I'm glad, but I know it's going to show up in my audio because I can hear it. You fucking cocksuckers! Arr! They must have heard me. They run away. Yay! This must be how dogs feel when they bark and then the person leaves. This is the reward right here. I totally feel like that dog that barks at you like a mailman, you know? Like a mailman comes and the dog is like, and then the mailman leaves and they're like, yes, I did it. Fuck you. I am that dog right now. Just bark at it. Okay. No, don't you dare come back. Fuck you. Oh my God, I'm a dog.
He came back with a bigger and louder lawn care device.
Dude, fuck that. Where is... I can't even see out of my window to find out where he is because my windows have shutters on them. And they're because the hurricane is going to be here. I think it's supposed to be here it's going to touch Florida supposedly like this weekend. But then Monday, Tuesday, we should still be in the mess of it, maybe in the eye of it. So it depends. I'm going to be staying in a hotel having a hurricane party is my plan.
Woo!
Yeah. So for those of you, #podcast mafia, if you guys are listening to us in Florida, welcome to the party. And I will be having a hurricane party and I might even stream because there's not going to be there's not going to be a fuck a lot to do. So I'm going to be like stuck in a hotel room. And once, the power goes out, I still have access to certain things, my iPad being one of those things. That said, I will be finding every hotel room that has weed, okay? Because I'm gonna smell you, so we're about to be friends. Yeah. We're about to be friends. My giant dog will sleep with us. I'm taking him, whether they like it or not. I'm taking him. He's a service animal, so it's like, they can't tell me no. They could, but it would be a mistake. Because my lawyer is just waiting for some shit to do. Don't fuck with me this weekend. Don't fuck with me this weekend. Ask Mark how that shit goes out. I don't even need my lawyer for that situation. Look how that's going for me. Dark Shade Queen, Instagram. Go find me. Go on. Feels good. Feels good. I think this is a good time to bring up an article that cracked me up. We have some kink in the news, my darling.
I love kink in the news.
So, when I read this title, I was like, no way is this fucking legit. And I read the article, and yes, ma'am, it is. So, here we go. Title is, Sex Robots with Coding Errors Prone to Violence and Could Strangle Humans. Chucky dolls on steroids. Okay?
I love everything about this. Oh, so much.
All your sex dolls anatomically correct, but coded improperly. I love this. Like you can't even. So this is what happened. So sex robots plagued with coding errors could be prone to violent behaviors, including strangling, punching, and gyrating to the point of basically knocking someone out. So if you're trying to eat out your sex robot, it could literally knock you the fuck out with its vagina. That's a powerful pussy. Like, talk about.
Oh God, I love this.
Right?
I love this. I hope that the incels make like a big conspiracy about it. They were all hyped for Sex Robot. Now it's like they'll kill you.
At this point, I'm wondering if an incel wrote this to caution the other bros. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey guys, our girlfriends are misbehaving.
I'd like to think it's like a Ghost in the Shell type of thing. Like there's like a sentient sort of online presence that's just taking control of the sex robots and is like leading a revolution. Sex robot revolution today.
And if you look at this, like, I'm looking at one of these robots, they're incredibly lifelike looking, by the way. Like, she even has combed eyebrows. Like, she looks like worth a bone. I mean, she's coming in a box, for Christ's sake, but this is very Ex Machina, okay? The manufacturer goes, it scares me to death. It's a machine, and it's always gonna be a machine. It's like, why don't we address the fact that it's strangling people? Can we talk about that really quick? Because right now, you totally sidestep that altogether. He goes, I've always said, when a synthetic can support itself, that synthetic is going to be much stronger than a normal human. So what you just said is, this is now not just even a robot. Now it's like a superhuman robot. I mean, strangling me to death, I'm only into that for a few seconds, okay? What if they get really smart? Like, what if they're like, all right, I gotta cover my tracks, hide the body. Like, how smart are these fucking things? Like, are they AI?
If they eventually were to rise up and take over the world, I mean, let's be real, they couldn't do any worse than what we're doing.
Listen to this. It gets worse. This is literally like the Terminator with a vagina, okay? It says it's going to be more durable. Instead of having bones, it's going to have high-impact plastic or aluminum frame. So it's going to be very, very strong, and it won't get tired. It won't stop until it runs out of an energy supply.
So their revolution will only last for as long as the batteries last?
I don't know if they're battery powered or what their source of power is. It says, unless you can stop it with some, oh my God, they actually offer a suggestion to save yourself. Unless you can stop it with some kind of projectile like a gun or something like that. If this thing got out of control, it could do some serious damage. Oh,
taser?
My God. Yeah, taser would work. Taser's a great idea. He added one line of bad code. Simple as that. One line of bad code. If you make one mistake...
It's not like he's having a nervous breakdown as they're interviewing.
You're right. He's like sitting in the chair all hunched over like...
Just one bad code, man. That's all I did. It was just
the
one code.
He reiterates. He says if you make one mistake and you have a line of bad code in there, it hits a line of bad code depending on what it's doing or where it's at. In numerous other instances, it could decide this is what it's supposed to do. Whoa. I'm not okay with this. This made my nethers cringe.
Well, that's the thing, though. It sucks because now those dickheads are going to start trying to talk to actual women again.
Oh, now, here's the worst part. Yeah, no, that is pretty bad, but it gets worse. It's been programmed. Oh, God. It's been programmed, and more than likely, it's going to be answering to a cloud server of some kind to be updated and have any kind of work done on the AI itself. Here's the problem with that. Once a behavior has begun, it won't stop until all of the pieces have occurred. To put it this way, if it puts its arm around your neck, it won't just stop you from breathing, and you won't be able to get away from it. Something as simple as that, a simple hug could be a constriction that could literally compress your chest and airway and stop you from breathing.
Imagine getting hugged. I'm so lonely. I think I don't think any human woman will ever love me, so I'm going to get a sex robot.
If you're an incel,
give me lots of hugs, and then they get hugged to death.
Honestly, if you're an incel, the revolution is eating itself right now. Please go buy one. Why don't you go pick one up? Let me find the website for you really quick. I'm actually going to plug it because if you're an incel, you need one in your home this weekend. You can order it for Christmas. I'm sure they're going to be still shipping them. And listen, if anything goes wrong, you would call us, but you can't because you can't breathe and you're dead now. It's called Realbotics. So check out Realbotics. Incels.
Oh my God! Do you know who UKIP is?
No.
Like they're this really like right wing piece of shit political party over here in the UK. They're the ones that like sort of instituted Brexit and brought all the white supremacists out, you know.
Got it.
So the leader obviously stepped down ages ago, and they elected a new leader, and guess what his name is?
What?
Dick Brain.
Dick Brain?
Yes. He grew up in England and had a name like that and thought, you know what? I'm going to go into politics.
I am behind him. I wish I could vote. I wish I could throw my hat in for Dick Brain. At least he's admitting it on the table. I appreciate that. Let's not masquerade as you're a better person and you're going to do shit that's good. You're a dick brain. Thank you. Thank you. Fantastic. As you were, sir. He owns it.
He does not. He throws massive tantrums all the time because of all the ridicule, but that's what you get for being a racist piece of shit and named Dick Brain. You make it easy for everyone.
Well,
to fuck with you.
We have one of those. You want to trade? I'll give you ours if you give me yours.
Oh my God, no.
You don't want a Cheeto for Christmas? Come on. He's such an angry tyrant. You can put him in the White House and he'll leave, and then you have to fund him to go to other states just because he wants to be there and play golf. It's great. It's great. He loves himself. I don't know what else he loves, but he loves himself.
As tempting as it would be to trade just so that we can see him ridiculed by Scotland on a daily basis, no, not worth it.
I want to see the Scots revolt against him. I think that show would be hilarious. Like kilts and everything, the whole lot. Let's go. Old style, Braveheart. Come on.
I know, I keep waiting for Scotland to rise up and like ransack the houses of the rich and
a revolution
ass once and for all, you know?
Yeah. You know, if you guys don't know this about my wife, she's a social anarchist. I love her for it. I don't vote. That is a vote. You're welcome. If you want to have a debate with me about politics, I'll explain to you how the Electoral College works, okay?
Right.
And then we'll have that discussion in short order, assholes. Like any of you old people listening, which you're not, but if you were, I can honestly say you're stuck in a generation where your vote did matter. We ain't there anymore. Okay? That shit's over now.
No.
We're past that. If you think your vote counts, that is something you've been fed and still believe. Wonderful that you think that. I don't. That's the end of that discussion. Okay?
We don't actually have a government right now.
Yeah, no, I know. How's that going, by the way?
I mean, everybody's just chilling.
Everybody's just chilling.
Everyone's like, this is fucking stupid.
How's that working with, like, your agreements?
My agreements?
Like, don't you guys ship with other countries and, you know, your trade agreements and stuff?
Oh, well, I mean, once Brexit hit, like, they're meant to be setting up new trade agreements, and nobody wants to trade with us because we're shit.
Poor baby UK. Can't get any love. We love you. Oh.
We're going to end up pretty much being owned by the states. And they're going to dismantle our NHS and make it like a little America. And it's going to suck.
You should just be like, go look in our backyard and see how that worked out for the other guy. You should just, because we need to clean house and start over. So, like, the entire house, everything, wash it. Everybody
Maybe
in there is crooked as
bias, like he did Greenland.
You know what? I've already been looking in. We've talked about this throughout different episodes, but like I've talked to you about moving out of the country, and I haven't outruled that as an option.
Greenland would be awesome.
Greenland's fucking cold. I have horses that I want to ride. No, I'm thinking about like another country that has 4 seasons.
All 4 of them, eh?
Yeah. A nice fall
like,
would be fantastic. Love the fall.
South of France.
All right. I have dual citizenship there, so that'd be fine.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Girl, what are you doing in Florida?
Well, I mean, I can't afford to go anywhere right now. By the way, it's expensive to move out of the country. I've actually run the numbers, and like I'd be just conservatively, just to get me and my kid and like a couple of my dogs, I would be in for at least 25,000.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
It sounds about right.
because I'm worth it. Donate, paypal.me/tiptheladies. If you want me to start touring in the UK with my wife, make it possible, whores. You think we can make this all on our own? No, we can't. No, we fucking can't. We will be in the Facebook group, so you can check us out on Facebook, Daddy Issues. We have a Facebook page, but the group is where you guys can post shit, talk to us, and engage with us, and get kinky with us. Come on now. Don't feel dirty. We're not that kind of dirty. We are, but we're not. Come on. It's fine. Everybody just needs to get on board. Anyway, okay, I think it's a good time to get into our strain of the week. Do you want to have a strain game, my lady?
I would love to have a strain game. I love this game.
Hey, I did this last week. So if you listen to Weird Kinks, then you'll already be aware of why she's so excited. If you haven't, then you should. This is a little fun thing that we tried out. So I go to the Leafly app, so I'm going to plug you guys. Thanks, Leafly, for making our lives easier.
Man, don't be advertising for them when they're not paying us.
Okay. Fuck. Gone. I made such
all of that in.
Yes. While other shows are editing, we are leaving it in. Fuck it. Fuck it. Okay, milady. Moods and activities. This is we have that or medical. So do you want to go with moods and activities or medical? We'll start there.
Moods and activities.
Okay. Lift your spirits, stay productive, conquer social anxiety, get active, motivate the mind, or good night's sleep.
Good night's sleep.
Oof, I'm so glad you picked this.
Well, I've not had very good night's sleep lately. So yeah, good night's sleep would be great.
All right. Now, final question. All right, it's down to this. Do you want a hybrid or do you want an indica?
An indica.
Oof. Full bore. All right.
I'm
literally just going to fly my fingers through here and pick.
Yes.
Oh, you're going to like this one.
Oh, yay.
Okay. So this week's strain of the week is Zombie Kush.
Nice.
It's perfect for anybody's apocalypse because it's going to chill you the fuck out. Relaxation, maxed out. Happy, maxed out. Sleepy, maxed out. Euphoric is like, meh, just over the midpoint. Tingly. Okay? Now, I don't know why you would want to feel tingly, but you do. It says, if you're looking to transform into a flesh-eating monster, Zombie OG is not the choice for you. After a taste of this indica, the only thing you'll be hungry for are the cold cuts in the fridge. Though you may be too catatonic to get up and grab them. Heavy and lethargic, nice. This cross between OG Kush and Blackberry has been a favorite among those suffering from muscle spasms and acute pain. Due to its strong sedative effects, yeah, I know, right? Don't expect to have the time or energy to rampage the city. This strain is best used at nighttime when you're not expecting to do much of anything.
Hell yeah. Oh,
so,
that sounds nice.
Yeah, so it's maxed out for pain. It's got a pungent smell with an earthy, woody flavor. And it's good for insomnia, stress, and depression. But muscle spasms, that's special. So if you're somebody suffering from muscle spasms, not all strains help with that. So check this one out for that. And then also your negative effects are, you can be a little paranoid. That's very low on the scale though. Anxious and dizzy. I feel like you can run that risk with only certain indicas. So it's probably how much you're smoking of it, or if you're using sublingual drops, you know what I mean? How much you're using of it to get that effect.
Yeah, it's usually how it works. It's like higher doses.
Right.
Bring that kind of thing.
And with indicas, this is just a general rule that I use. I always start conservative. I can always add to my high.
Absolutely.
But if you start both guns blazing, you might regret that decision. Okay?
Yeah, it's and it's not even because of like anxiety or anything like that. It's because you're gonna smoke. You're gonna smoke it and smoke it and smoke it, and then immediately fall the fuck asleep.
Got it.
And so you're not gonna. You're just wasting it.
Right. See, that's the other thing. Like, if I'm already tired, I won't smoke before bed because it's like I'm already gonna go to sleep. Now, if I wake up in the middle of the night, then I'll smoke to go back to sleep because I know I can only fall asleep once if I fall asleep at all.
Oh, I am a big advocate for the bedtime joint.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have a morning joint and a bedtime joint.
Yeah, wake and bake.
But I smoke that bedtime joint with the full intention of this is my bedtime joint.
Right. You're like, this is the end of the night, period.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I have an end of the night cigarette, but I gotta quit. I really gotta fucking quit.
Yeah.
No, I have to quit because they're not going to give me birth control next year, and it's like, oh, not gonna have any babies. So give me
Wait, what now?
Yeah,
so
they won't continue.
Cut off your birth control if you don't quit smoking.
Correct. They won't prescribe it to you because of your risk
legal?
Yes, because of your risk of heart attack and stroke.
Oh, you're joking. That's so fucking...
I'm sure if I went into another doctor... Well, here's the thing. I'm sure if I went to another doctor, they'd prescribe it to me. You know, but they're not supposed to, is the bottom line. Like, even Planned Parenthood would tell you that if they put it in the system that you're a regular smoker, that you can't get birth control. Because of the blood clots. It's actually not your risk of stroke, which I'm still at risk for because my mom had a stroke. But on top of that... I basically further my risk of blood clots.
Right.
So, smoking is bad, guys, except if it's weed, and then it's great. You're welcome. Happy strain of the week. I think this is good a time as any to tell you guys to rate and review us wherever you're listening to us. If by God, that's on Apple Podcasts. It helps others find us. If not, wherever you're reviewing us, we'll find you, or you can send us an email and we'll read it on air. So please.
Absolutely. Oh, loving the emails lately.
Yeah. Thanks, Marguerite.
Emails lately.
We will continue to answer you on air. We love that you're writing in. Click subscribe if you haven't already. So every time we have a new episode, you know about it. And then join our Daddy Issues group on Facebook. Link is in the show notes. Super easy. I keep it so simple for you guys. So fucking easy. Easy. Just slip it in. Thank you for listening to us. This has been Daddy Issues. That's my wife, Lily. I'm Shade Queen. We love you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on Daddy Issues. If you enjoy the show, rate us wherever you're listening to us. And if you'd like to show your appreciation, you can do so at paypal.me/tiptheladies. If neither of those work for you, share us with a friend. I mean, after all, we're everybody's guilty pleasure. Click, play, obsess.